Oh, some potato chips.
While you wait.
I need a napkin, please. What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. Happy May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's my birthday month. It's May, the best month of the year. How y'all feeling? How's it going in your world? Usually, you see my dog already. You see him? Because he came behind. Hey, I can't handle adulting. What's up? I bet the chips crunching in the mic is such an ASMR sound. I'm waiting on the rest of my lunch. I'm just kind of munching on some potato chips. While my lunch is getting ready, mac and cheese. So if you're new here, we hang out on Mondays. We eat lunch. We chat for a few minutes. I'm a therapist, certified eating disorder specialist. Go live all over the place, really. We're on like a bunch of different social platforms right now, which is kind of fun. And folks on TikTok and YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we ask questions and again, eat lunch and hang out. So how's y'all's Monday? My dogs come sometimes and join us. Yeah. What'd y'all do this weekend? This time of the year is my favorite, but it does get kind of like crazy busy. It feels like there's stuff in like birthdays, or if you have like school age people in your life, there's a lot of like end of the year things going on, right? Graduations, proms, band, whatever, right? Like everybody's got to have like a recital to end the year. So everybody's just really, really busy. So we were busy. These next few weekends are busy. We're moving our office finally. We were supposed to move this weekend, but we still don't have any doors or floors. So we are moving though next Sunday. I'm so excited to show y'all the new space. Oh, I hear my lunch bell going off. So we had really awful thunderstorms here in my area of the world. So I'm in North Texas. This time of the year is tornado season. Bad weather comes with the territory. It's just part of it. But my dog, one of them hates thunderstorms, like hates them. And it was a really loud, it woke us up with thunder and just like a lot of lightning. It was crazy. And our dog hates it. So we did not sleep well last night because my little corgi was like under the covers, like on top of me, like shivering and just like growling at the thunder. I guess he was going to scare it away. Have I ever seen a tornado? I have not. I don't ever want to see a tornado. Now, I think there have been, I don't know, I can maybe count, like if there's like a handful of times I remember as like a young person, there were some really, really, really bad, scary storms. And could there have been a tornado, and have I been in storms like when there's been tornadoes in my city? Yes, I have. But um uh I have never seen one. You've seen three. You've been in and seen three. They're pretty scary. I mean, I don't want to, like, again, I don't want to say them. They can be really bad storms or really scary. They just, it's also part of being in Texas. Like, in laws, my sister, they have a couple family members have tornado shelters, right? So when it gets bad, they have to go in those. I live in a I live in a area of town where there's like, it's pretty populated, so I think it's pretty safe here from tornadoes. I hear just that, like, I think when you're in town and there's like hills, but if we lived out in maybe like the country, it might be. I don't want to say that in the country. That sounds bad. If we lived outside of town, definitely there would be more of a risk for me to see them. Oh, give them a calming med for the thunder. That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. I think that it came kind of, I shouldn't say it came out of nowhere. The storms didn't come from out of nowhere. It's just that it was like literally in the middle of the night. So we went to bed, and you just are like, it was like a 3 a.m. kind of a situation. So, but we may have to think about that. Or like do those thunder vest work for dogs? Has anyone ever tried one? Do those work? Like, I had the blankets from the bed under him, but over him, and you're in Maryland. It's a freak thing if you get a tornado. Yeah, I would think so. Whew, that's like crazy weather there. If you get one in Maryland. What about thunder? They do for some. I mean, I wonder if we should try the thunder vest. Maybe we should try that. Would you like that, Pumpkin? He's fine in the storms when, like, he's like attached to me, like he wants to be like as close to me as possible, which is fine. But in the middle of the night when you're sleeping and there's this like dog, like this 30-pound dog wanting to like lay on your chest, it's kind of like, bro. I think that I would take a tornado over a blizzard, though, y'all. So that is kind of maybe how I feel about tornadoes. They're really scary. They'd freak me out. I've certainly spent anxious evenings in my bathroom. Um, but I think I would take a tornado over a blizzard. Is anyone live? Is anyone here local to like the North Texas area, and had to wake up during those storms last night? So I saw that somebody had to work this weekend. What else was going on? We went to there was this, they're called Denison Service League. And they raise money for local nonprofits. And they had a dueling piano event over the weekend. So we went to that. Have you ever been to a dueling piano? It's really fun. Apparently, they have to play what you request. They didn't play any songs I requested. But I also didn't stay the whole time. So, anything could have happened after I left. Y'all know it's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? Y'all are going to be seeing a lot of mental health education on your social media feeds, TV, news. It's a good thing we talk about it. You have a tradition where every April 30th, you light big fires all over the country with hundreds of people at every place. First time you get drunk as a teenager. That is really fun, actually. What are you celebrating on April 30th? Like, what is that about? I want to know more about that. Eka 1982. You've been loving my content recently. Thank you. Well, glad you're here. I want to hear more about this burning things up, lighting things on fire on April 30th. Also, April 30th, I learned this. I went to the nail salon on Saturday, the 30th of April, and the woman who was giving me my pedicure, she explained that April 30th, 1975 was the day that North Korea overtook South Korea. So it was like, whereas North Korea was like celebrating the day. South Korea is like a day of like mourning and honoring. And so it was very interesting to hear that story, because I'm sure I learned that in history class, but you know, I'm an American, I'm a Texas girl, so went to Texas schools, which were ranked like 48th in the nation for education. So y'all know I'm not real smart, and or at least I wasn't taught how to be really smart, right? So if I learned about North and South Korea, I certainly did not remember that story, that tragic story. So it was nice to hear that. But Americans, we tend to get like in a vacuum sometimes and forget that there's like a whole lot of people who do a whole lot of interesting things, very different from what we do and believe. Celebrate protection as an old saint, and to celebrate that the winter is over. Well, celebrating winter being over, definitely, like, that is worth celebrating. So yeah, just like burn it all, right? Burn down like, just kind of start fresh, right? You had Chipotle for lunch, and it used to be a food that was like a big trigger and hard for you, and you ate it. So that's amazing. Good for you. Glad you're here. You just reminded me to eat. Thanks. See, glad you're here. Welcome. Lunchtime or snack or dinner time. You know, I know it's lunchtime. Lunchtime, noon, right? Like middle of the day. Typical like if you I work for myself, but I really like banker's hours. Right? It was just kind of like 9 to 5 or 8, 8 to 6 or I don't know whatever it is really, but start my day about 9 o'clock. I take a lunch break at noon, and then I'm done. Afternoonish time. So this is my kind of lunch break. Mm. You've helped me so much. I'm so glad you're here. It's so great. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month too. You'll send me a screenshot from how it is in Stockholm. See, this is why May is such a great time. Although, I think, okay, so isn't it different though in the southern hemisphere? It's like wintertime there now, right? Um, they have the opposite, I think. So for those of us who are going into this like summer, it's like prime time, springtime. May is. It rains a lot here in early May. Well, actually, all May it rains a lot, but the mosquitoes come and the bugs come. We saw tarantulas. Like they're gross. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But I saw signs of the bugs are it's time. That's the worst part about Texas this time of the year are the bugs. Like I just want to be like doing yoga outside or like I don't know, um meditating outside, but I would be destroyed by the mosquitoes. Right. And the ticks, they're disgusting. I hate bugs. And Texas has big, ugly, gross, a lot of them. Bugs. Ugh. Okay, so but here's the thing, I can't handle adulting. It is disordered eating, right? Like it doesn't mean that you don't have an eating disorder when we're talking about like behaviors, right? Like that's disordered eating. I mean, all it's so hard because I'm trying to simplify something. I just think that disordered eating and eating disorder can be used interchangeably because my folks who have eating disorders, they use disordered eating behaviors, right? Because they are that's what those symptoms are. That's what like restriction, purging, binging, logging foods, those things that you do when you have an eating disorder, that's disordered eating behaviors. But you have an eating disorder when you show like a pattern of these disordered eating behaviors, right? And it's impacting and infiltrating and making it's causing problems in your life. That's an eating disorder. Does that help? You're welcome. I think that part of you that, like makes you feel an eating disorder is really good at also lying to you and trying to convince you that you don't have an eating disorder, right? And that you're not sick enough. So that I would even say, like, that sounds kind of like the taunting of the eating disorder, right? Like, you're not sick enough, you can't see they're using these words, but at the end of the day, it's still just sick behavior. So you want to count numbers or veggies or fruits even when eating a fear won't eat enough. I think to stop counting, it takes a lot of time intentionally trying not to count, right? So, like, if you used to write it down or if you used an app, whatever you were doing to log it, it really just takes on purpose not doing that behavior anymore. And yes, I hear this all the time from clients, like, but I still know the calories and my brain still counts it up. That's fine, because your brain just, like, can't, like, it knows that information. It's also just kind of like, can you say that's like a symptom of the eating disorder, right? Like, so it'd be like if somebody had pneumonia, and right, a cough is a symptom of pneumonia, right? So that thinking is a symptom of an eating disorder. So it means, like, okay, you got to care for yourself, and how can you practice doing the opposite, challenging yourself, because food shouldn't make you feel anxious or bad, right? So it's not about the food being right or wrong. It's about how are you taking care of yourself and showing up for yourself in that moment. And I think that not wanting to eat enough, like, that is also a valid fear I hear too, and so um I'll have clients that cling to charting their food for that very reason, trying to be, like, perfect maybe in even their recovery. But, like, that's something to work on too. Like, it's not about eating perfectly, right? It's about eating and honoring and listening to, like, your body and your cues, and that can change, every day, all day, sometimes. That's a good idea, like in 1982, right? When you get new stuff, or even with all things, right? Like, just take that black marker on the nutritional label, a black marker, and just write it out, scribble it out. Um, can you cover that up, right? To help you when your brain goes to that space where it's trying to count the calories, or, think about the calories, you can start to tell your brain, no, it's a blank. Like, I don't need this information. Do I ever get clients Do you ever have clients getting mad when talking about their eating disorder? Yes. Yes, that is very normal. I think it's vulnerability. I think there's this part of you, right? The eating disorder serves a function, believe it or not, too. It's a dysfunction that it's creating. But, and so change is scary. I think that, again, like, when something, the thing about an eating disorder too, like, it's really pervasive, right? And the more we kind of, like, engage in it, the more it kind of, like, worms and, like parasites its way into our brain, really. And so it can feel like it really becomes like a part of you, right? And so it feels very, like, vulnerable and personal, this talking about these, like, symptoms and thoughts and beliefs. um and the eating disorder has a lot of shame. So I think that makes sense to me, right? And just, can you show up for yourself with compassion instead, right? Like, listen, this is really hard, and you're exposing yourself and you're sharing things about yourself, and it's weird and it's uncomfortable, and so I'm just a fan of all feelings are okay. Just, how can you be nice and kind and show up for yourself with those feelings? Okay, y'all, so I have a really busy day, and mac and cheese is not easy to talk and eat at the same time. So I'm going to hop off of here for the day. I don't know about next week. I'm hoping to be here. We should be here, but we are moving over the weekend. So, if all goes well, I will be here. So, see y'all on Monday. Take care.